Alan, tell me the story of The Dead Don't Hurt. It's a Western directed and written by Viggo Mortensen.
Okay, hold on. Dead Don't. I just want to get the names right. But this movie stars Viggo Mortensen and Vicky Krieps. Let's see. So this takes place in Nevada, and Viggo is he's Danish, she is French, and they are in this Nevada town, and they kind of meet each other, kind of fall for each other. He builds her a home on the way, but the town is being overrun by bad people. During the midst of all this, the Civil War is going on, and they're asking for recruits. And Holger, who was played by Viggo Mortensen, feels that he needs to go to war to end slavery, leaving Vivian behind, who is Vicky Krieps. And so he goes off to war, and then bad things happen to Vicky. She gets pregnant, and then he returns to deal justice. I think that's the best way, because there's so many threads in this movie.
There's a lot of threads.
There's a lot of threads in this movie.
It takes a while to get going, but once it does, it's really good. Yeah. It's just a beautiful tone. The audience I saw it with really loved it. I saw it on a Wednesday, and I just like a good Western story. Why?
Okay, I need to say this. I need to say this.
Yes.
It wasn't until an hour in did I realize we were time jumping.
Yes. There was
this is the most annoying thing about it.
Because it starts out and he's walking around with this little kid, and when he goes away to war, he returns back and she has a child. So how did that happen?
Yeah, and then it does a lot of time jumping, and the frustrating thing for me was, once I realized it was time jumping, now I'm going back trying to figure out, well, did that take place in the present or did that take place in the past?
Well, and it all comes together in the third act.
Yeah.
And here's what Viggo did: a great job. Mm-hmm. Great cast, really good tone. She is hot. Her character, Vivian.
Honestly, to me, she becomes hot.
Becomes hot.
Yeah.
Because of how she talks to him, and they don't get married, but they're lovers, and they live together.
And they're raising a son together.
But what I love, which is, for every Western to work, there has to be a moral center, a morality story. You are with the people who have a moral foundation, mm-hmm. and the bad guys who just sort of revel in being cruel to others. You do not like those people. And the cruel people, you see all that play out, the corruption in the town, the cruel people, mm-hmm. like, I don't want to say what happens, but a really good Western is about morality in the face of being surrounded by evil. Injustice, evil people. And this does that. It's a slow burn in the first 30 minutes to get to like what's going on, because I didn't understand. I was like you.
Yeah.
I was like, what? And then it does, you're in, and then by the end you're like, come on, which I loved.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I really like this movie, but there's some things that, for example, the Sully McLeod plays Weston Jeffries, the bad guy. The entire film, he's dressed in black,
right?
The entire movie, and he is the bad guy, and so that's a little bit on the nose there. Garrett Dillahunt, the first time I ever saw Garrett Dillahunt was My Name Is Earl, and he played kind of a good guy, and then everything else he does, he's the bad guy. Yeah, but he brings such he brings such uniqueness to every bad guy he ever plays. This one equally so. I'm a big fan of Garrett Dillahunt. The realization that we're time jumping was just the most frustrating thing. And so it's kind of good to know ahead of time, which I think is good to tell you now. Just know that the opening of the movie is the middle of the movie, or the middle of the timeline, and that the kid comes later. And this really is that love story. Also, we talk about feminism and stuff, to me, this is feminism done right. It's feminism done in the context of the situation and plays out as that would play out here. Vivian is a very strong woman, and what makes her strong is her desire to survive, desire to be the person she is, and she's a mother. She's raising a child, and that is important to her, while at the same time, trying to maintain a job that she really shouldn't have and that she kind of stumbled onto. So I really like this. There's just so much going on, and I kind of equate Westerns with a lot of action. There's not a lot of action. This is about that story of having a strong moral center in the midst of injustice, and that's why I'm here.
That's what all good Westerns do. That's what they do, is have that element, and that's why I liked it. And we could use more movies like this. Yeah. So I say support it, go see it. It's just, and it's really good to see a romance between a man and a woman, and they love each other.
And it's complicated.
Things happen. I mean, there's a romantic scene. It's not graphic, but you can see what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, she's pretty forward. Yeah, and I will say this: there is an Asian in the movie.
That's right.
He's a flower wholesaler, and he wears a coolie hat. And I'm like, I'm okay with this. I'm okay.
Yeah, but aside from that, the movie is not very diverse. I'd say it's accurate to history.
Yeah,
so,
but they bring in the Asian and they place him in the context of the time, and I appreciate that.
No, but that's appropriate. That's what you want. So yeah, recommendation from me for sure. Probably at least a 7 or more out of 10. I didn't even watch a trailer before I saw it. I went in cold. I knew the title, and that was it.
Yeah. The only reason this is on my radar is because I saw the trailer a couple weeks ago, and we're quoted in the trailer.
Film threats in the trailer?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Andy saw it at Toronto, and his quote got into the trailer.
Cool. All right. Well, recommendation from both Alan and I on this Western, The Dead Don't Hurt. Check it out.